Peace in life does not come when problems disappear. Many people believe that if their circumstances were different, they would finally feel calm. They think that once the stress is gone, once the difficult situation resolves, or once the chaos stops, then their mind will be peaceful. The truth is very different. Life will always have challenges, changes, and unexpected events. Peace is not about controlling life. It is about controlling the way you respond to it. Peace is an inner state that begins the moment you stop resisting what is happening. Most stress and tension comes not from the events themselves, but from the mind's reaction to them. When life gets messy, the mind panics. It wants to predict the outcome, to plan perfectly, and to control every detail. When things do not go as expected, the mind creates stories about failure, fear, or lack of safety. It says, "This should not be happening. This is too much. I cannot handle this." These thoughts generate anxiety, frustration, and inner chaos. The events themselves are often much less intense than the reaction we add to them. Training the mind begins by noticing these reactions. Observing the mind's stories without judgment creates a space between thought and awareness. In that small space, peace quietly appears. Space is like a pause button for the mind. When you notice your thoughts without immediately believing them or acting on them, you create a choice. You can either react automatically, falling into stress, or respond consciously. Every moment you choose awareness over reaction, you strengthen your mind's ability to stay calm. You start to realize that even in messy situations, there is a part of you that is steady and unshaken. That part is always available, waiting for attention. It does not depend on circumstances or conditions. It is the foundation of true peace. Another key aspect is understanding that resisting reality always increases suffering. When life gets messy, the mind often says, "This is wrong, this should not happen, I want it to be different." This resistance creates tension and amplifies emotional pain. Instead of fighting the situation, begin by acknowledging it. Say to yourself, "This is what is happening right now." This simple acceptance does not mean you approve of the situation or that you do not take action. It simply stops the mind from creating unnecessary suffering. By insisting on how life should be, training the mind to stay peaceful starts with small moments of observation. Notice when the mind begins to react. Observe the thoughts, emotions, and bodily sensations that arise when challenges appear. Do not push them away and do not attach to them. Just watch. Over time, this practice builds resilience. The mind learns that it does not need to panic to survive. It learns that calmness is always accessible, even when life feels messy and unpredictable. In essence, peace begins within. It is not a result of a perfect environment, of problems disappearing, or of life becoming easy. Peace arises when the mind stops fighting reality and starts observing life with clarity. It is a choice you can make moment by moment, and it is the foundation for training your mind to stay peaceful, no matter what life brings. One of the main reasons the mind becomes restless is because it constantly drifts into the past or the future. The mind loves to replay memories, regrets, and mistakes over and over again, creating stress that did not exist in the present moment. At the same time, it worries about what might happen tomorrow, imagining problems that may never occur. This constant mental wandering leaves little space for peace. It is exhausting and unnecessary. Training the mind to stay peaceful begins with learning how to bring attention back to the present moment. The present moment is the only reality that truly exists. The past is gone and the future is unknown. Yet the mind treats both as if they are urgent emergencies. Thoughts about what went wrong or what could go wrong pull energy out of the present and create tension in the body and mind. Every time the mind pulls you away from now, stress increases. But when you notice that the mind has wandered and gently bring attention back, you strengthen your ability to remain calm. This is the foundation of a peaceful mind. Simple practices help train the mind to remain in the present. Start with the breath. Feel the air entering and leaving your body. Notice the rise and fall of your chest or the sensations in your nose and lungs. The breath is always happening now. It is the anchor that keeps the mind from floating into stories of the past or worries about the future. Returning to the breath again and again builds mental stability. Even a few minutes of focused attention each day strengthens this habit. Another way to stay in the present is to observe your surroundings with full awareness. Notice the colors, shapes, sounds, and textures around you. Feel the ground beneath your feet or the weight of your body in the chair. When attention moves outward in this way, the mind stops spinning inside stories and begins to experience life directly. You do not need to change anything. Just observing reality as it is brings a sense of calm and clarity. It is important to understand that the mind will wander. It is natural. Peace does not mean forcing the mind to stop thinking. It means repeatedly returning attention to the present when it drifts away. Each time you notice the mind wandering and gently bring it back, you are exercising the mental muscle of calmness. Over time, this becomes automatic. The mind learns that it does not have to get lost in stories or fears to survive. Even in messy situations, this present awareness creates space. Space allows you to respond rather than react. It prevents panic, worry, and impulsive decisions. The mind begins to understand that life does not need to be perfect to be peaceful. By bringing attention to what is happening right now, you gradually train yourself to remain calm, grounded, and resilient no matter what challenges appear. Emotions are one of the strongest forces that can disrupt peace of mind. Anger, fear, frustration, sadness, or anxiety often arrive suddenly and feel overwhelming. Most people try to resist these emotions or push them away, believing that they are bad or that they should not exist. This resistance, however, is what amplifies suffering. When you fight or suppress an emotion, it grows stronger. It lingers in the body and mind, creating tension, irritability, and inner chaos. Training the mind to stay peaceful means learning to face emotions without resistance. The first step is awareness. Notice the emotion as it arises. Name it silently to yourself. For example, say, "This is anger," or "This is fear." Observing emotions in this way creates a small distance between you and the feeling. You are no longer fully identified with it. You are watching it, not being carried away by it. This gap is where calmness begins to emerge. You do not need to analyze or judge the emotion. You do not need to figure out why it is there. Simply notice it. The second step is acceptance. Allow the emotion to exist without trying to push it away. Feel it fully in the body. Notice where tension is stored. Observe the physical sensations, the racing heart, the tightness in the chest, or the restlessness in the mind. By welcoming emotions instead of resisting them, you prevent them from becoming permanent mental clutter. Peace does not mean the absence of emotion. It means the absence of conflict with emotion. It is also important to avoid acting impulsively on emotions. Most chaos in life comes not from the emotion itself, but from the reactive actions it triggers. Anger may lead to harsh words. Fear may lead to avoidance. Frustration may lead to rash decisions. Training the mind involves creating a pause between feeling and action. This pause allows you to respond with clarity rather than react blindly. In this space, choices are made consciously, reducing stress and maintaining inner calm. Another essential aspect is self-compassion. Emotions are a natural part of being human. Feeling them does not make you weak or flawed. Treat yourself gently when difficult emotions arise. Speak to yourself with kindness as you would to a friend in pain. This supportive attitude softens emotional intensity and strengthens your ability to remain peaceful. Finally, recognize that emotions are temporary. Like clouds in the sky, they appear, move through, and pass away. They do not define you and they do not last forever. Training the mind to stay peaceful means observing this impermanence and allowing life to flow naturally. Each time an emotion arises and passes without being resisted, the mind becomes stronger, calmer, and more resilient. Over time, this practice creates an inner stability that allows peace to persist even when life gets messy. Much of the stress and mental chaos we experience comes from the need to control outcomes. The mind believes that if everything goes according to plan, life will feel safe and peaceful. It wants certainty, predictability, and reassurance. When reality does not align with these expectations, tension rises, plans fail, circumstances change, and unexpected events occur constantly. Life is naturally unpredictable, and clinging to control only increases suffering. Training the mind to stay peaceful begins with understanding this truth and gradually letting go of the need to control everything. Letting go does not mean stopping action or responsibility. It does not mean giving up on goals or ignoring what needs attention. It means separating effort from attachment. You can act wisely, make decisions, and do your best, but you do not have to be emotionally bound to a specific outcome. By releasing the grip on results, you create space for clarity. The mind becomes less reactive because it no longer fears failure or disappointment. Peace arises when effort is directed toward what you can do, while outcomes are left to unfold naturally. This shift requires awareness. Notice when the mind begins to grasp, plan obsessively, or worry about what might happen. Observe the inner dialogue that says, "I must control this, or if this goes wrong, it will be terrible." Recognize that these thoughts create tension, but that they are not absolute truths. They are patterns of the mind seeking security in an uncertain world. The moment you see them clearly, you can choose a different approach, one that allows presence and calm to exist alongside responsibility. Trust is essential in this process. Trust in yourself, in your ability to respond to whatever life brings, and in the natural flow of events. Trust does not eliminate challenges, but it softens the inner struggle against them. When trust replaces fear, the mind can remain grounded even amid uncertainty. You begin to understand that life can be messy and unpredictable, yet you are still capable of navigating it with clarity and calm. Another important aspect is practicing non-attachment. Non-attachment is not indifference. It is not passivity or lack of care. It is the understanding that holding too tightly to people, outcomes, or situations creates unnecessary stress. By loosening this inner grip, you allow life to flow more freely. You can remain involved, proactive, and compassionate without being consumed by fear or anxiety about what might happen. Over time, this practice transforms the way you experience challenges. Situations that once caused panic or frustration are met with steadiness. The mind becomes flexible, responsive, and resilient. You learn that control is an illusion, and that true peace comes from surrendering to the present moment while acting consciously. In this space, even when life feels chaotic or messy, the mind remains calm. Peace is not dependent on external conditions. It is a skill cultivated through awareness, trust, and the release of attachment. Your inner dialogue has a powerful impact on your ability to stay peaceful. The way you speak to yourself can either create calm or amplify stress. Most people are unaware of how harsh and critical their inner voice can be. It constantly judges, compares, and worries. Thoughts like, "I am not doing enough," "I will fail," or "why can't things be perfect?" replay automatically, often without conscious awareness. These patterns increase tension and make it difficult to remain calm when life gets messy. Training the mind to stay peaceful involves observing this inner dialogue and gently reshaping it. The first step is awareness. Notice the thoughts running through your mind throughout the day. Observe the tone, the frequency, and the emotional charge behind them. Awareness alone is a form of training because it creates a gap between you and the thought. Instead of automatically believing the story, you recognize it as a passing mental event. This gap allows choice. You can either continue feeding negativity or respond with gentleness and clarity. The second step is to cultivate kindness toward yourself. Inner dialogue does not need to be positive thinking or forced cheerfulness. It only needs to be honest and gentle. Speak to yourself as you would speak to a close friend. A simple shift from criticism to compassion can dramatically reduce stress. For example, replace "I can't handle this" with "this is difficult, and it's okay to feel challenged." Over time, this practice rewires the mind, creating a stable inner environment that supports peace rather than turmoil. Another important aspect is noticing when the mind exaggerates problems. Thoughts often magnify situations, turning small challenges into crises. The mind says, "This is terrible," or "I will never manage." These stories are usually inaccurate and unnecessary. Training the mind involves questioning these thoughts gently. Ask yourself, is this true? Is this helpful? This practice does not involve suppressing emotion. It involves seeing the thought clearly and choosing a calmer perspective. Consistency is key. Peaceful inner dialogue does not appear instantly. The mind has been conditioned for years to react automatically, so repeated awareness and gentle correction are necessary. Every time you catch negative self-talk and respond with kindness, you strengthen the mental habit of calmness. Over time, the mind begins to default to a gentler, more supportive tone, even in stressful situations. Finally, understand that inner dialogue shapes perception. When the mind speaks harshly, the world feels more chaotic. When the mind speaks gently, the same situations feel manageable. By training the inner voice, you do not change external events, but you change the way you experience them. Peace is not dependent on life becoming easier. It is dependent on how you respond mentally and emotionally. By observing your thoughts, speaking kindly to yourself, questioning exaggerations, and practicing consistently, you create a mind that remains grounded even when life is messy. Inner dialogue becomes a tool for peace rather than a source of stress, and the mind gradually becomes a stable, calm companion in every situation. Stillness is one of the most powerful tools for training the mind to remain peaceful. Many people think that stillness means stopping all thoughts, or that it requires perfect conditions. In reality, stillness is always available beneath the noise of the mind. It is not something you need to create or force. It is already present, waiting for attention. Learning to access this stillness even for a few moments each day builds resilience and helps the mind remain calm even when life feels chaotic. The first step is to intentionally set aside moments to practice stillness. You do not need hours of meditation or elaborate techniques. Start with a few minutes. Sit quietly, close your eyes if you wish, and simply observe your breath. Do not try to stop thoughts. Let them arise and pass without clinging to them. Notice how the body feels. Notice any sensations, tensions, or areas of relaxation. By giving attention to the present moment without trying to manipulate it, you allow stillness to naturally appear. Stillness also teaches the mind that peace is not dependent on external circumstances. Life will always bring challenges, noise, and unpredictability. By practicing being still amid simple everyday moments, the mind learns that calmness can exist anywhere. You do not have to wait for perfect conditions to feel peaceful. The ability to find stillness in small moments gradually transfers to larger, more stressful situations. The mind becomes grounded even when life gets messy. Another important aspect of stillness is observing thoughts without judgment. Thoughts will arise, sometimes quiet, sometimes loud, sometimes repetitive. Instead of resisting them or becoming frustrated, notice them with curiosity. Thoughts are like clouds passing across the sky. The sky itself remains unchanged. By practicing this observation, you create distance between your mind and the mental chatter. This distance allows peace to emerge naturally. Stillness also allows emotions to settle. When the mind is constantly moving, emotions get stirred and amplified. By resting the mind, emotional intensity naturally softens. Anger becomes less reactive, fear becomes less gripping, and sadness flows more easily. The ability to sit in quiet observation creates space for emotional balance. Over time, you realize that peace is always beneath the surface, even when the mind and life feel messy. Finally, stillness cultivates clarity. In quiet moments, the mind is able to see problems and challenges more objectively. Decisions are made with less reactivity and more insight. Situations that once seemed overwhelming can be approached with calm and reason. The mind begins to trust itself because it has learned that peace is accessible regardless of circumstances. Training the mind to find stillness is not about perfection. It is about practice, patience, and consistency. Even a few minutes each day slowly build an inner foundation of calm. This stillness becomes a sanctuary you can return to anytime life feels messy. It becomes a reliable anchor, reminding the mind that peace is not created, it is revealed, and it is always within reach. Life is unpredictable. Challenges, conflicts, and uncertainty are inevitable. Even when you practice awareness, stillness, and mindful inner dialogue, situations arise that test your peace. An awakened mind does not avoid difficulty. It does not wait for life to be perfect before feeling calm. True peace is developed by learning to meet challenges without losing balance. Training the mind to remain peaceful in messy situations transforms difficulties into opportunities for growth. The first step is recognizing that peace does not mean avoiding challenges. Many people confuse peace with comfort. They think that if life were easier, calmer, or more predictable, they could finally feel relaxed. In reality, life will always bring change, conflict, and unexpected events. Peace is not dependent on circumstances. It is a skill you cultivate through awareness, patience, and consistent practice. The more the mind is trained to respond rather than react, the less turbulence affects your inner state. When difficulties arise, returning to the present moment is crucial. Instead of worrying about what might happen or replaying what went wrong, bring your attention to what is happening now. Notice your breath, your body, and your immediate surroundings. This simple act grounds you and prevents your mind from spinning into fear or panic. Each time you consciously bring awareness back to the present, you strengthen your ability to remain calm under pressure. Another key practice is acceptance. Acceptance does not mean resignation or giving up. It means acknowledging reality as it is, without resistance. When life becomes messy, the mind often resists, saying, "This should not happen," or "Why is this happening to me?" Resistance fuels frustration and anxiety. Acceptance, on the other hand, creates space for clarity. You can assess the situation objectively, respond intelligently, and maintain inner balance. The mind is no longer entangled in unnecessary struggle. Challenges also provide an opportunity to strengthen resilience. Each time you meet a difficult situation with calm awareness, the mind learns that it can remain stable. Over time, this builds confidence and mental fortitude. You begin to understand that you do not need life to be perfect in order to feel peaceful. Even uncertainty, conflict, and messiness become manageable. Patience is also essential in maintaining peace during difficult times. Life does not always resolve immediately. Problems may persist, and emotions may continue to surface. Training the mind involves cultivating patience with yourself, the situation, and life itself. By allowing events to unfold naturally while staying grounded in awareness, you reduce tension and prevent stress from escalating. Finally, view challenges as teachers rather than enemies. Each messy moment is an opportunity to practice calm, presence, and acceptance. With every obstacle, the mind gains more experience in remaining stable amidst uncertainty. Peace becomes less fragile and more reliable. It is no longer a reaction to comfort, but a skill that can be called upon in any circumstance. By learning to stay peaceful during uncertainty and difficulty, you create a mind that is resilient, clear, and steady. Life may be messy, but your inner state becomes a sanctuary. With practice, the mind learns that calmness is not the absence of chaos, but the presence of awareness, trust, and patience. A peaceful mind is not a perfect mind. It is not free from thoughts, emotions, or challenges. It is a trained mind, one that knows how to pause, observe, and respond with clarity. When life becomes messy, the mind may still notice problems, worries, and difficulties, but it does not lose itself in them. It has learned to create space between experience and reaction. This space is where true peace resides. Cultivating this inner calm is a lifelong practice, but each moment of awareness strengthens it and makes it more accessible. Peace is not something that comes from the outside. It cannot be bought, controlled, or forced. It is revealed when the mind turns inward, notices what is happening, and chooses presence over panic. Even when life is unpredictable, when challenges arise suddenly, or when emotions feel overwhelming, peace is always available. It is the silent companion beneath the noise of the mind, the unshakable observer behind every thought, emotion, and reaction. Training the mind is about returning to this companion again and again, patiently and consistently. One of the most important aspects of a peaceful mind is choice. Each moment, you can choose whether to react automatically or respond consciously. Automatic reactions create tension, fear, and frustration. Conscious responses, grounded in awareness, create calm and clarity. By practicing this choice repeatedly, the mind becomes skilled at remaining stable. Over time, peace shifts from being a temporary experience to a natural state. It becomes less dependent on circumstances and more rooted in your own inner capacity. Another key to lasting peace is understanding impermanence. Life is always changing. Situations, relationships, and experiences come and go. When the mind clings to the illusion of permanence, suffering increases. By accepting that change is inevitable, the mind stops resisting life. This acceptance does not mean passivity or indifference. It means acting wisely and fully in each moment, without being controlled by fear of the future or regret from the past. Peace emerges when you act with awareness while releasing attachment to results. Stillness, breath, awareness of thoughts and emotions, and gentle inner dialogue all combine to strengthen this calm foundation. Each practice builds resilience. Even when life feels chaotic, the mind knows that it can return to these tools. Peace is not fragile, it is a skill developed through repeated practice. Each time you pause, notice, and respond consciously, you reinforce stability and clarity. Ultimately, training the mind to stay peaceful is an act of self-respect and self-care. It is a commitment to your own well-being, even in the face of difficulty. Peace becomes not just a temporary relief from stress, but a constant companion. Life may remain messy, uncertain, and challenging, but your inner state becomes a sanctuary. By practicing awareness, acceptance, patience, and conscious response, you transform your mind into a source of calm and stability. Peace is not created, it is revealed. And with consistent practice, it becomes your natural way of being, no matter what life brings.